well, we're upset that you got such a big contract and guaranteed. Remember, we were working on how the house shows are drawing. So when we're not drawing real well, the guys aren't getting paid very much money. And here I am collecting this big paycheck every week. And so it pissed off a lot of people. And but when you look back now, it broke the glass ceiling. Now everybody gets a guaranteed contract.
Yeah.
So it's instead of being upset with me, I think people should have been grateful that I was the one that convinced Vince to finally give away a guaranteed contract. And then I believe Brian Pillman got one shortly after that, and then the list goes on. And Austin renegotiated, got a huge deal, and the list goes on and on.
Right. You just mentioned Austin. You wrestled him when he was Stunning Steve. You wrestled him when he was Stone Cold Steve Austin. Any differences in the man when he was just a guy in the card compared to the guy?
He was great either way. I mean, I remember wrestling him as Stunning Steve, and I was wrestling him for the U.S. title quite a bit. There's three guys I probably wrestled more than anyone else, and the top of that list has got to be Steve Austin because we were both in both companies together, and the next is probably Triple H, because we were both companies, and then the other one is Diamond Dallas Page, who I wrestled night after night, traveling around the country, around the world, wrestling each other over and over again. And Steve is just an incredible visionary mind for the business, worker. He could do anything. But what amazed me about Steve was that he would watch all the matches. Like he'd peek through the curtain and watch all the matches. And I would think to myself back then, my God, this guy watches every single match. He must be bored, you know. But no, what it was is that he learns everyone's strong points. So when he does eventually work with that person, like when he worked with me, he knew how to do all the moves I would do, whether it was a flying head scissor or a sunset flip off the top rope. He was there for me all the time. He knew how to work the match, so he knew how to call the matches. And everyone he worked with was a little bit different, so he'd use different psychologies with him, and was just a tremendous student of the game. And if I could ever, I don't have no regrets, but if when you look back and you go, wow, I wish I would have done this a little different, was that I wish I would have learned things more that way by watching others wrestle. And if I could tell any young person getting the business, watch people um, that you enjoy watching the psychology they use, the pace of their match. And we always want to go so fast all the time. And I was
Right.
remember Anderson told me, man, when you think you're going too slow, slow down.